The morning felt too quiet, not peaceful, not calm, the kind of silence that presses against your ears, like the world is holding its breath before something goes wrong. Oliver Crestwood woke up in a luxury mountain resort, sunlight pouring through tall windows, warming the polished floors. Everything around him spoke of comfort and control. Silk curtains, clean air, a view worth millions. This was his life, carefully built, carefully guarded. He had no idea that in less than 60 seconds, a single scream would split that calm in half, and expose a truth that would change him forever. Oliver Crestwood was a billionaire. Not the loud kind, not the flashy kind. He was known for being calm, measured, and always in control. He believed problems could be solved with money, contracts, and smart planning. That belief had carried him far. But it had also blinded him. As he sat up in bed, his wife Helena entered the room, carrying a delicate porcelain cup filled with warm herbal tea. She smiled, soft and familiar, and sat beside him. For a moment, it felt like the early days of their marriage, simple, gentle, almost real. Her robe brushed the floor as she leaned closer. "Good morning," she said. But something was off. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Her hands were too still, too careful, like she was waiting for something to happen. Oliver didn't notice. He trusted her. He trusted routine. He trusted the life he thought he understood. He lifted the cup. That's when the scream came. "Don't drink it." The door flew open, slamming against the wall. A young maid stood there, pale and shaking, her chest rising and falling fast. Her voice cracked as if fear itself was tearing through her throat. Time froze. Oliver's hand stopped mid-air. The cup hovered inches from his lips. Helena went rigid. Her reaction wasn't confusion. It was fear. Raw, instant, uncontrollable. Oliver slowly placed the cup down on the bedside table. The porcelain made a soft clink, but in that moment, it sounded louder than thunder. The maid, her name was Mara, stood trembling at the doorway, tears filling her eyes. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't panic for attention. This was desperation. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I had to. I didn't know how else to stop it." Oliver's heart began to pound. Not fast. Heavy. Like something dark had settled inside his chest. "What are you talking about?" he asked calmly, though his body felt anything but calm. Mara couldn't answer. She just shook her head, hands clenched tight, as if holding herself together. Security arrived within minutes. The cup was taken away. The room filled with quiet movement, radios whispering, footsteps soft but urgent. Helena sat frozen on the edge of the bed, her face drained of color. Oliver watched her closely now, and for the first time in years, he truly saw her. The results came back quickly. Too quickly. The tea had been tampered with. Not poison. Not enough to kill him. Enough to control him. The substance would cause confusion, memory loss, poor judgment. It would make him vulnerable during high-level business meetings. It would turn a powerful man into someone easy to guide, easy to manipulate. It felt worse than death, because it meant someone wanted to erase him while keeping him alive. Helena broke down. The truth spilled out in sobs and broken sentences. It wasn't hatred. It wasn't greed. It was fear. Her brother, Quentin, was drowning in debt. Desperate. Cornered. He had convinced her that Oliver planned to leave her, that secret papers were already prepared, that she would be left with nothing. It was a lie. But fear doesn't ask for proof. Quentin told her it would only happen once. Just enough to make Oliver confused during upcoming decisions. He promised no one would get hurt. She didn't know the full plan. She didn't know Quentin planned to take the money, disappear, and let the blame fall on her. And then there was Mara. Earlier that morning, she had seen Quentin in the suite. She wasn't supposed to be there, but she overheard whispers, saw the way he rushed, found a small vial he dropped near the sink. Something felt wrong. Mara didn't have power. She didn't have money. She didn't have protection. All she had was a choice. Stay silent and keep her job, or speak up and risk everything. She chose courage. Her scream wasn't just sound. It was sacrifice. Oliver had built his life believing loyalty could be bought, that people followed rules because of money or fear. Mara shattered that belief in one sentence. The days that followed were heavy. There was no shouting, no revenge, no public destruction, only truth. Oliver and Helena parted ways quietly, not because he hated her, but because trust, once broken, cannot be forced to heal. He understood her fear, but understanding did not erase the damage. What hurt most wasn't the betrayal. It was realizing how alone she had felt, while standing right beside him. Oliver had been so busy building empires that he missed the quiet collapse of the person he loved. That realization broke him open, and for the first time in his life, he rebuilt something that wasn't made of money. He paid for Mara's education. He helped her family escape poverty. He created a foundation for people trapped by manipulation, debt, and fear. Not for attention, not for praise, but because one ordinary person reminded him what courage looks like. Money can buy comfort. It can buy silence. It can buy control. But it cannot buy a clean conscience. That morning began in silence. It ended with truth. And sometimes, all it takes to change a life is one voice brave enough to break the quiet. If this story touched you even a little, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us keep telling stories that matter. Before you go, comment below. What do you think the world needs more of right now? Courage, honesty, or kindness?